This might be tough for you as an empath. It might be tough for you if you're one of those people who doesn't like to keep a book open without, closing the chapter and saying we ended things in peace and let me close that book. Maybe you don't forgive. Maybe you decide that what they did to you was so bad that you could never bring yourself to a point where you say, I've forgiven that person. That's okay. Welcome to the very first episode of Beyond Words with me, Najwa Zebian. I've always believed in the power of words to heal what they didn't break and to break what they had no right in breaking. So I'm going to give you quotes and I'm going to give you my own ways of stringing words together to help you fix anything inside of you that you feel needs that medicine, that balm of healing. The very first episode is going to be about a topic that is very close to my heart, and I know that so many of you, hundreds of thousands at least, struggle with this topic daily. And the topic is forgiveness. How do you forgive what you can't forget? How do you forgive what affects you every single day? How do you forgive what goes to bed with you and wakes up with you every morning? You can't get it out of your head. You can't get it out of your heart. How do you forgive? So today I'm going to give you 5 ways to forgive. Use whichever way works for you or a combination of ways that works for you. Don't judge yourself for not being able to apply 1 or 2 or 3 of these strategies or ways of thinking or ways of putting together a healing plan for yourself. You do what works for you. I'm going to start off by saying there is nothing harder than giving yourself a dose of courage and strength to make the decision to forgive someone without them apologizing, without them admitting what they did to you, without them validating to you, I hurt you in the way that you felt hurt. I hurt you in the way that you felt like I betrayed you. I hurt you in the way that I lied to you or about you. I hurt you in the way that I backstabbed you. I hurt you in the way that I turned my back on you when you needed me the most. It's so hard to forgive someone who doesn't give us permission to move forward with leaving behind what they did to us. Because a part of them not admitting what they did and a part of them not validating for us that they know how they hurt us, in a way puts us in a place where we question how bad what they did actually was. Like, was it as bad as I really felt that it was, or am I being overly sensitive? Like, the fact that they don't see it maybe means that it didn't really happen in the way that I thought it happened, right? It takes away from your ability to say, this did happen and it did hurt as much as it did. So part of forgiving someone for what they did is not waiting for them to admit to you what they did. It's not waiting for them to apologize for what they did. It's not waiting for them to tell you, I know I messed up and I shouldn't have done that. It's not waiting for them to regret what they did. It's not waiting for them to come to you and say, I've been suffering after what I did to you. That's a huge part of forgiveness. The first strategy I'm going to give you is this. Feel the pain of what they did to you without internalizing blame for it. So feel the pain of what they did, but don't sit there and contemplate the idea that maybe something about you earned that they cause you that kind of pain, right? When somebody throws pain at you, like imagine it, I want you to actually visualize this. If somebody had a bucket of pain and they poured it on top of you, you're still going to have to cleanse yourself of that pain because you're wet with pain or with poison or whatever it is that they threw at you. But you can draw a line between saying, I need to clean myself up, I need to get rid of what they threw at me, and saying, the fact that they were able to throw this at me means that I deserved it. Do you know what I mean? It's like walking outside and it starts to rain and you're like, okay, I got wet, I need to go and change or whatever. But you don't say it rained because I deserved to get wet. Do you know what I mean? So why do we do that when people hurt us? Why do we say, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb. The fact that he or she had the ability to hurt me in that way means that there's something about me that inherently means I deserve it. Don't do that to yourself. But at the same time, don't get stuck there and say to yourself, oh, I didn't deserve that, therefore it shouldn't hurt. No, it hurts because they did something to you. It hurts because they lied to you. It hurts because they backstabbed you. It hurts because they did something that you never thought they would do to you. It hurts, so feel it. But don't cross the line from feeling it to saying, I must have deserved it. Give yourself permission to sit with that pain. And let me tell you something. Here is the consequence of not feeling the pain. Because you'll have somebody tell you, that's BS. I don't think that you should spend time dwelling on what someone did to you. You'll have people tell you that and tell you, you just need to move on. If you can logically tell yourself, I didn't deserve that, you should just move on. Here is why I have an issue with that. The consequence of not feeling or taking the time to feel the pain of what they did to you is that you might not get to the point where you will make the decision that you need to make based on that pain. You might not learn the lesson that you were supposed to learn that says, don't trust people so easily. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Don't be so naive and blind and boundaryless when it comes to the way that you trust people. If you don't take the time to feel the pain, there is nothing in the future that's going to tell you, hold on, remember last time we felt that pain because we moved too fast, we trusted too easily, we showed all of our cards without the other person earning the right to our story or to everything that there is to know about us, our vulnerabilities, our weaknesses, our strengths. You have to take the time to feel the pain of what was done to you. It doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you extremely strong, because to have the ability to look at a storm that's coming your way, and you know it's coming, you know how they've hurt you, you can see it, and to have the ability to say, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life running away from this. I'm going to move towards it, or I'm going to stay in my place and let the storm pass. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt. It's going to take some time for me to learn to live with a new reality without that person being in my life, but I can do it. It takes strength to feel, not weakness. Try your best to evaluate the kind of people that you have around you and the kind of language that we use. Remember, this is all about the power of words. Do the people around you encourage you to take a dose of that strength to feel? Or do they encourage you to numb it, to put it behind you when it's really right in front of you? Do they take the time to sit with you and tell you, I know how this must feel and I'm really proud of you for making the right decision for yourself? Or do they sit there and just bash the people who hurt you without giving you permission to actually feel what you're already feeling? So pay attention to who you surround yourself with. The second strategy I'm going to give you is this. Imagine how much pain that person must have been in to feel that they had the right to inflict that pain upon you. Imagine how much pain a person must be in to look you in your eyes and lie to you. Imagine how much pain a person must be in to look you in your eyes, in your strength, in your glory, and to feel like they have the right to break you down bit by bit, to devalue you, to devalue all of your accomplishments. How much pain must that person have inside to be able to cause you that kind of pain? And this is not to say focus on them so that you could forgive and move on. That's not what it is. But when you are able to imagine the amount of pain that person must have inside of them, you're moving away from the idea that they caused me pain because I deserve it, because something about me deserves, has earned that they lie to me or cheat on me or betray me or turn their back on me or gang up on me. You're moving away from that idea to the idea that says maybe they caused me pain because they have pain inside of them. Do you see the difference? I once wrote, never wish them pain. That's not who you are. If they caused you pain, they must have pain inside. Wish them healing. That's what they need. When you are able to see the pain in another person, you are going to not take what they did to you personally. And when you don't take what they did to you personally, it doesn't mean that you're like, oh, I didn't deserve that, therefore I'm not going to feel anything. No, not at all. It just means you give yourself permission to feel the pain of what they did to you without saying, oh, it's my fault. Something about me caused that, you know? So imagine how much pain they must have inside of them to be able to inflict the pain that they inflicted upon you. And at the same time, imagine, this is really powerful, imagine how much power and strength and courage you have within you to be able to look at that person with the pain that they just threw at you from out of nowhere or in a way that was so shocking to you. You look at them and you say, I have the ability to throw this back at you. I have the ability to say an eye for an eye and do to you what you did to me, but I'm not going to do that. Imagine how much power and courage you must have inside of you to choose to forgive, not in a way that says what you did was okay, but in a way that says what you did wasn't okay, but it's not going to make me become like you. How much strength must you have inside of you to be able to do that? The third strategy I'm going to give you to forgive is very simple. Very hard, but very simple. Let go of your need for revenge. When someone hurts you, the very first thing your ego says is, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to make you regret what you did to me. You're going to see that I'm going to rise and I'm going to do all these great things and I'm going to be the person you told me I could never be and I'm going to do the things you told me I could never do. There's something inside of you that's fighting for you, of course. There's something inside of you that's trying to protect the image you have of yourself, the image that says, I don't deserve to be hurt in that way. There's something inside of you that bypasses the feeling stage to get to a point where you feel like you're almighty and you're strong and what they did to you didn't affect you and they're going to feel badly for it and they're going to regret it and they're going to come knocking on your door and saying, I shouldn't have done that to you. When you focus all of your energy on revenge, however that revenge is, whether it's by going around and telling people what they did to you, very different from sharing your story. It's different, and you know the difference. When you share your story from the heart, your focus isn't on the other person or on making them look bad. Your focus is on your pain, how it affected you, how it changed you as a person. But when you go around and you just talk badly about them, trying to change other people's opinions about them, that's still your ego. And that's not very helpful to your healing because your focus is on them. Your focus is on, can I convince people that they are bad so that, they can see my side of the story and they can see me as the person who's in the right and they can see them for who they are? Do not, and I repeat, do not take on the responsibility of ruining someone's image. Why? Because they will ruin it on their own. Because that is who they are. Who they are will always come to light. It is not your job to reveal who they are. If you do it by sharing your story and people happen to see them for who they are, good. But don't go out of your way to make sure that the bad sides and the ugly sides and the painful, inflicting sides of someone come to light. They always come to light. A person's biggest karma isn't what happens to them as a result of what they did to you. A person's biggest karma is who they are. It's who they choose to be every single day. So don't take over the responsibility of being someone's karma or bringing their karma closer to them. Don't take part in that. Don't allow what they did to you to taint who you are. As tempting as it may be, trust me. And if you've done it, it's okay. We're talking about forgiveness. It's a new day. It's a new you. You can decide to no longer do that anymore because now you recognize that your energy needs to go nowhere other than towards healing yourself. The best revenge that you can have when you are hurt is a happy life. It's not to live a life that's great despite what they did to you. It's to live a life that's great, not being controlled by what they did to you. By choosing to say, that was wrong. I would have never done that to you. You shocked me. You hurt me. You shouldn't have done that. But I'm not going to be stuck there, repeating myself over and over and over, hoping that something about what you did is going to change just because I spent all this time stuck on it. Forgiveness isn't about saying what you did was okay. Forgiveness is about saying, I'm not letting what you did to me shackle me in my place, waiting for you to come and free me from what you chose to do to me. I will grab the key of healing and unwind myself, set myself free. I have the ability to do that. I may not have been able to choose what you did to me, but I can choose to walk out of it. Sometimes you walk into a muddy puddle and you get your shoes and maybe a little bit of your clothing dirty. Will you just stay there and wait for rain to come down and clean you up and then the sun to come out and dry you out? Or do you choose to walk out of that and go give yourself what you need? I know that's a very, realistic example, but that is how you should look at your healing as well. It's not that simple, I understand that, but when you're able to visualize it that way, something about telling yourself, I have the ability to walk away from this, just like I can literally walk out of something that is making me dirty or whatever. It gives you that feeling of power. Imagination is so powerful. So if this works for you, use it. The fourth strategy I'm going to give you is probably the hardest one. Forgive yourself. Sometimes when people hurt us, we fixate so much on how naive we were to not see it coming. Or, this happened to me so many times. How did I allow myself to trust someone again? Or how did I allow myself to trust this same person again when they've hurt me so many times? It must have been my fault for them to be able to do that to me again. We go back to our earliest beliefs about ourselves that say You deserve people walking away from you. You deserve people lying to you. You deserve people not keeping their word. You deserve people not being loyal to you. We fall down that loop because we don't know how else to get out of it. We don't know how else to justify what they did to us, so we blame ourselves. So a big part of forgiving them is beginning by forgiving yourself for not knowing any better. And I know you're going to say, but I did know better. Maybe you logically knew better, but your body didn't know better, because maybe your body doesn't believe that it could survive standing up for yourself when somebody walks away from you or betrays you or lies to you. You know, when you have that shaky feeling right before you're about to say something that demonstrates that you know who you are and that you don't deserve what they did to you, and you know, your knees start shaking and you feel like you're completely frozen. That's your body's way of telling you we don't feel safe standing up for ourselves. So just because your mind knows better, it doesn't mean that you need to judge your body for not knowing any better. When somebody is struggling, and you know this more than anyone, when someone is struggling, do you need to remind them that they deserve to struggle? Or do you need to hug them? Not necessarily physically, but hug that pain inside of them, to embrace them, to make them feel safe in feeling whatever it is that they're already feeling, even if it doesn't make sense logically. So if you know to do that for people, why don't you do that for yourself? When you get stuck in that loop that is all negative, all shaming you, telling you something must be wrong about you, therefore, or with you, therefore you deserve what they did to you, therefore you deserve to suffer, therefore this is how your life is gonna be. You fall it down and you just don't know. It's kind of like a spiral where you're only going down. And part of stopping that spiral is listening to it with the ears of the person that you have become, not with the ears of the person that you were in the past that was traumatized, that developed all those beliefs about yourself. When you are able to look at yourself as an outsider, as somebody who's gained so much wisdom and so much life experience and so much compassion, as somebody who knows how to heal others, when you witness yourself during your struggle from that perspective, you are able to speak to those younger versions of you that have developed over the years all of those beliefs and say, I hear you. I know where all of this is coming from, but we know it's not true. And I understand why you keep going down that loop. But there's another choice. There's another decision we can make, which is to say, what they did to me has nothing to do with how worthy I am of someone hurting me. Nothing on this earth, nothing in this world gives someone permission to hurt me, even if I'm down on my knees in my worst place in life. It does not give a person permission to hurt me even more. And think to yourself, when you see someone struggling, how much pain must you be in to say, I see that person hurting, they're vulnerable, they're very sensitive, I'm going to hurt them more. That's evil, right? So when you can imagine that person who decided to hurt you in the way that they did when you were at your most vulnerable, what kind of character do they have? And is it a character of a person who you want in your life? I know I'm speaking at the logical level right now, but you need to hear that. Words are powerful. Words can heal you. Keep listening to this on repeat, and you will get to a point where you feel like something inside of you, your inner wisdom, your inner knowledge is standing up for you and saying, I did not deserve that. That was wrong. The fact that you were able to do that to me shows me who you are as a person. And maybe in the past I thought, I'm so lucky to have someone like you in my life, someone who welcomes me, someone who gives me crumbs of love or understanding or whatever I thought it is that we had. But now that I see the pain that you were able to inflict upon me, when you had the ability to give me so much healing, to give me so much compassion, to give me so much empathy, to give me so much understanding for who I am and what I'm going through, you chose to add to my pain. I don't deserve that. I deserve to have someone in my life who lifts me up. I deserve to have someone in my life who, when they see me down on the floor, physically or emotionally or metaphorically in any way, struggling in any way, their first thought isn't, how do I make you break even more? I deserve someone who empowers me. I deserve someone who sees the light that's emanating from me and says, how do I clear up more space ahead of you so that light can reach more places? Not, how do I block that light from reaching other people or from other people seeing you for who you really are? Repeat those lines to yourself. Write them down somewhere, even on a mirror if you have one that you look at every single day, to remind yourself of what you deserve and what you don't deserve. You have to prioritize your peace over seeing the person who hurt you suffer. You have to prioritize your peace over seeing the person who lied to you, who put a knife in your back and went repeatedly at you and said, you know what, I did it once and I saw how it hurt you, I'm going to do it so many times. You have to prioritize your peace and your healing and your ability to move on. And that is what forgiveness is, over looking at them and saying, you must be such an ugly person to do what you did to me. How do you feel about yourself doing what you did to me? Prioritize you moving forward from what they did to you over your need for them to confront themselves, your need for them to see that what they did was so terrible. You can't lie to someone and not know that you're lying to them. You can't lie to someone and not know how you're hurting them. It doesn't matter what excuse you give yourself. You say, oh, I'm only lying because I know that if I tell you the truth, then it's going to hurt you. Well, why is that truth going to hurt me? There's a reason it's going to hurt me. So maybe you just shouldn't do the thing that you know will hurt me instead of doing it and then lying to me about it. You don't need to tell a person who cheats on you or betrays you or talks badly about you behind your back that they're doing something that's hurtful, because they know that it's hurtful, and that is why they do it behind your back. That is why they run away like cowards when you really need them. You don't need to sit in front of a liar and say you're a liar. They know that. You don't need to sit in front of a person who has such bad character, whose loyalty goes wherever there's benefit, and tell them you're not a loyal person. They know that. You saying it out loud will only make them hate you even more, because they know that you've uncovered who they really are. And they would rather be around people who don't look past their mask, who see the image that they are trying to project that they are. They don't want to be around somebody who sees them for who they are. I heard somewhere that the highest vibration is authenticity. So when you're a very authentic person and you're around people who are hiding, that's why they feel so uncomfortable around you. Because the energy that you're emitting is an energy of truth, and it's an energy of wearing your heart on your sleeve and not hiding anything. And they're hiding something. They're hiding their intentions. They're hiding who they really are. You are true to who you are. That alone make something about you, make them feel unstable and uneasy around you, because they know that you see them for who they are. You can see right through that mask. They would rather be around people who operate at the same level, the same energy that they're operating at. Of course, they don't want to be around you. So the next time you feel that kind of pain of, oh, how could they have done that to me? And how could they have done that to me? And also like move on with their lives and not feel how what they did to me affected me. You're focusing your energy on the wrong place, because just like they did it to you, they will do it to someone else and someone else and someone else. And that's not an indication of what you deserve or how worthy you are of moving on from what they did to you. It's just an indication of who they are. So instead of saying, how could they, and how do I see them laughing and like acting as if they didn't do anything to me at all, let them deal with that question, not you. You don't deserve to stay up at night wondering how somebody else had the ability to hurt you. That's on them. The only question you should be asking yourself is, how do I heal from what they did to me? What steps do I need to take? You're expecting them to come and fix what they broke. You're expecting them to come to the broken version of you that they broke to pick that person up. Where are you to pick that person up? You have the ability to do that, and you have the compassion and empathy to do that. They showed you through their character that even if they had the ability to do it, they don't have the willingness to do it. Pick yourself up. Choose to forgive. Again, not in a way that says what you did to me was okay, but in a way that says what you did to me is not going to keep me in my place. What you did to me is not going to keep me waiting for you to come and apologize or to come and say that what you did was wrong. I know it was wrong. And there might be some people out there that support you and that make you feel like what you did was okay. Those people also don't matter to me. I'm going to choose my people who see me for who I am, who support me, who love me, who hear me, who see me. And those are the people I'm going to surround myself with. The fifth way that I'm going to give you to forgive, and this might be tough for you as an empath. It might be tough for you if you're one of those people who doesn't like to keep a book open without closing the chapter and saying we ended things in peace and let me close that book. Maybe you don't forgive. Maybe you decide that what they did to you was so bad that you could never bring yourself to a point where you say, I've forgiven that person. That's okay. Some pains in life don't deserve forgiveness. That's okay. Some pains in life will, even though you can move on from them, and even though you can expend so much of your energy and time and emotions into dismantling that pain of what they did to you from who you are, and you can say, that was terrible and it had nothing to do with me. Some pains will still visit you every once in a while, and you will still feel that pinch of what they did to you, and you'll say, I can't believe they did that. That was so terrible. That doesn't mean that you're still stuck. It could just mean that you've decided to continue to be an advocate for yourself. It could mean that you've decided to separate how good you are of a person from how able you are to say, I've forgiven him or her for what they did to me. You can be a strong person and not forgive. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you have fully made that decision, as long as you're not holding on to resentment, as long as you're not holding on to still needing that closure from them, you can say, I have my closure. My closure is, that is who you are. You did what you did to me. You knew it was wrong. You knew how much it was going to hurt me. You knew how much I trusted you. You did all of that. That is my closure. I don't need to know why you did that. There is never a reason that would justify what you did to me. You could give yourself that closure. You could decide to move on from what they did to you and still say, I would never forgive that person. There's nothing wrong with that. That on its own is a sign that you have forgiven yourself for everything that you've gone through during, before, and after what they did to you. That in itself is a sign that forgiveness is there inside of you, but there's something about how bad what they did to you was that would never bring you to a point where you say, I've completely forgiven you. I will always, in my mind and in my heart and in my soul, hold you accountable for what you did. And maybe you don't forgive because they never apologized. Why would you give your forgiveness to somebody who didn't even put the effort to apologize to you? Not everybody cares whether you forgive them or not. That's up to you. You get to set the conditions and the rules for what it would take for you to get to a point where you say, I forgive you for what you did. So I'm going to go over the 5 strategies that I gave you today for forgiveness, and I would love to hear from you which one worked the most for you. And if there are any quotes on forgiveness that you've heard, please drop them in the comments, because I'm sure they will help others just like they helped you. Number 1, feel the pain of what they did to you without internalizing that you deserved what they did to you or the pain they inflicted upon you. Number 2, imagine how much pain they must have inside of them to be able to inflict that pain upon you. Number 3, let go of your need for revenge. Your biggest revenge is a happy life. Number 4, forgive yourself and prioritize your peace over seeing them suffer. And number 5, maybe you just don't forgive. The one thing I'm going to leave you with after this to reflect on is this. Give me one word that symbolizes what forgiveness means to you. And I'm not going to give you any words myself. When you close your eyes and think of everything that we talked about in this episode, what's one word that comes to you that embodies what forgiveness means to you, with where you are in your life right now, with what you went through specifically? And I'll go through some of these answers next time. I hope this episode helped you find healing beyond words. Thank you for listening and have a lovely day.